start with social engineering. So, any of you like to go ahead and tell me what is social engineering? Hmm? Social en- No one? Hmm? Anyway, so let me take the initiative then. So, social engineering, guys, is basically it's all about psychological manipulation of another person. Okay, it's all about manipulating the person psychologically. So, what happens in social engineering is as a person try to build a relation with the target person. Okay, once that relation is built, he, he or she tries to exploit that the trust that has been built up. He or the attacker exploit against the target. Okay, so social engineering is done to harvest credentials. Okay, it is generally done to harvest some kind of sensitive information as well. Okay, so how many of you have already watched that next series probably that's called Jamtara? Hmm? How many have watched that Jamtara? देखा है किसी ने? सुना है, नाम सुना है जमतारा? No one, no experience. चलो नहीं देखा तो देख लेना गाइस, ठीक है? जमतारा, जमतारा नाम से एक शो आता है नेटफ्लिक्स पे प्रोबेबली. ओके, सो इसमें साइबर क्राइम दिखाया गया है. स्पेसिफिकली इफ वी टॉक अबाउट फिशिंग दिखाया गया है, ठीक है? ओके, so generally most of the times who falls prey for phishing, sorry, instead of phishing, we'll talk about phishing later on. So currently we are talking about social engineering. कौन disconnect connect हो रहा है बार बार? Okay, so I was talking about social engineering. So social engineering का आपको बेसिक मतलब समझ में आया कि इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग के लिए यूज होएगा सोशल इंजीनियरिंग. स्ट्रेंजर जो है आपसे एक रिलेशन बिल्ड करने की कोशिश करेगा, एक ट्रस्ट बिल्ड करने की कोशिश करेगा, एंड देन लेटर ऑन उसी ट्रस्ट को जो है वो जो अटैकर है सोशल इंजीनियर जिसको हम बोलेंगे, वो उस रिलेशन को, उस ट्रस्ट को एक्सप्लॉइट करने की कोशिश करेगा ताकि वो कोई सेंसिटिव इन्फॉर्मेशन गेन कर पाए या फिर आपके कोई सेंसिटिव क्रेडेंशियल्स गेन कर पाए. ठीक है, तो इसका एक एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं कि प्रैक्टिकली सोशल इंजीनियरिंग कैसे होती है, क्या होती है. ठीक है, सो आप सभी लोग बाग जो है प्रोबेबली पब्लिक कन्वेंस यूज़ करते होंगे, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज़ करते होंगे. ठीक है, तो ऐसा कितनी बार होता है कि कोई आपकी रैंडमली किसी स्ट्रेंजर से बात होनी स्टार्ट हो जाती है. एंड अगर मैं बात करूँ इंडिया की, तो इंडिया में आप अगर लेट से मेट्रो में जा रहे हो, किसी भी पब्लिक प्लेस पे जा रहे हो, एंड आपको कोई एक कॉमन टॉपिक चाहिए कोई कन्वर्सेशन इनिशिएट करने के लिए, सो प्रोबेबली इट्स गोइंग टू बी पॉलिटिक्स. ओके, आप राउंड अबाउट किसी से भी बात करना स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. दिल्ली में हो तो केजरीवाल के ऊपर कोई बात करना स्टार्ट करो. ठीक है, अपने आप स्ट्रेंजर से आप बात करना स्टार्ट कर दोगे. मोदी के बारे में बात कर लो, दूसरा बंदा अपने आप ही सामने से इंटरेस्ट दिखाने लग जाएगा. exchange of thoughts are going to start taking place. Okay, conversation is going to be initiated, and later on you can decide that what kind of channel you want to give to your conversation. Okay, how do you want to channelize your conversation? Not only this, the social engineering can be done specifically, like let's say if an attacker is trying to gain access to target system or target person, and the attacker has successfully been able to identify the email ID of the target person. Okay, now what he did was he tried to reset the password by forget password link. He entered the email address, but there was a security question that was supposed to be answered for resetting the question. So what attacker did was attacker tried to find that person. Okay, and he tried to build a relation with that person. Okay, and apparently जो security question था, the security question was like what is the name of my pet, something like that. What is the name of my first dog? Okay, so what attacker did was attacker find a way to board the same public transport as the attacker and started a conversation, initiated a conversation. After initiating the conversation, what attacker did was, as the attacker was very keen to know the name of the pet of that target person, so attacker simply introduced with this topic that, okay, I also have a pet, I also have a dog, he's so cute and stuff like that, and so on. So you can understand then probably if another person is also having a pet, they will have a common ground to talk upon, common ground to share their information upon, and it would be very easy for the attacker to get the pet's name of the target person, right? So who all fall prey or who all are the targets in case of social engineering attacks? So in case of social engineering attacks, from small organizations to big organizations, all the organizations are probably target for social engineering. Government organizations are more prone, and as well as the small organizations are more prone to social engineering attacks. Why so? Because in case of government organizations, the employees of government organizations are not that aware about these kind of attacks, such attacks. Okay, and in case of small organizations, so what happens in small organization is a single person ought to wear multiple hats. That means that a single person would be undertaking multiple domains inside that corporation. So if a single person is compromised, huge lot of information is going to be leaked to the attacker. Okay, so social engineering attacks can be computer based as well as human based. Okay, it can be anything. It can be computer based or it can be human based. So I've already told you about how it can be human based. So in case of human based, one need to directly interact, one need to establish a contact, talk to another person, and try retrieve some kind of sensitive information. Okay, now let's talk about what how can a social engineering attack take place in case of computers, in case of computer based. So we have got various kinds of attacks here in case of social engineering. Let me open my screen. So I'm talking about social engineering attacks. They can range from like phishing, phishing, farming. It can be like farming or whaling, spear, phishing, wishing, tailgating, dumpster diving. Well, so anybody know anything about fishing or farming? Anything?
Fake emails or fake uh, attackers send the fake emails.
So attacker sends a fake email. But in what kind of attacker sends a fake email?
Phishing.
In case of phishing. Okay. And what about farming? Any idea? Anything? So phishing is basically, I would say, it's a social engineering attack that is done through emails. Okay. When the attacker is going to try to hack into your email or in your any type of your account by sending a fraudulent email to you, that is going to be considered as phishing. Okay. I have got some certain examples for phishing as well. Where is it? Here it is. So here you can see a sample phishing email. Okay. So what happens is certain things that you need to keep in mind in case of phishing is you need to check for who is the sender of that email. Okay. Generally what attacker does is attacker tries to impersonate someone, or attacker tries to create a fake email that looks very, very closely to the original mail. Okay. So here also you can see the email address is like acc gmy arau ar autobot, something like this. Okay. Probably someone is trying to portray or pretend that as if it's this mail is being sent from Gmail Autobot, somewhat like that. But you need to closely look into the spelling mistakes or spelling or typos that can be there in the email. Okay. Other than that, you need to look for any kind of logo changes. If there is a logo that is attached, you need to look closely to the logo that is being attached, if it is exactly the same or if it is the different. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind in case of phishing is there's always going to be a call for action that is going to be there in a phishing mail. So what are call for actions? So here, as you can see in this email as well, there's this URL that has been provided right here. Let me change the color. It says please confirm account ownership by clicking on this URL. So basically this is going to be considered as your call for action. Okay, that the attacker is going to prompt you to open some kind of an link, to follow along a link and enter your details there. So that's why it is said that do not click on any link or URL that comes to you in your emails. A good practice for this is probably try hovering your cursor on that email or on the call for action that has been provided, and see if the hyperlink that is provided in the page and that comes in the href section at the bottom are same or not. Okay. Another one that you need to be careful for is, if let's say if you are prompted to open this URL, what you can try doing is, instead of clicking on this URL and opening it up, what you can do is open a new tab and try opening that URL manually by manually typing that URL in your browser itself. Let's say if it says that you need to reset your password for Gmail or for Google, So what you can do is open another web page. Do not follow the link that has been provided for resetting the password in the mail. Instead, open your Gmail from square one, manually go to the password reset option by yourself, and then reset the password instead of simply clicking on the link that has been provided in the email. Another thing that is required to be kept in mind in case of phishing is, you'll see, there is going to be some sense of urgency that is going to be portrayed in the emails, as you can see in this email itself. So here it says it will expire in 24 hours. So what the attacker is trying to portray here is called sense of urgency, that do this action before this much time expires. Attacker is basically trying to prompt you for an action before a specific time expires, something like that. Okay, and there's a call for action as well in this email, as you can see here. This is your call for action, and here is your sense of urgency. Okay, again, in case of phishing, as this word, you can say it phonetically sounds like fishing. Okay, it has been derived from fishing. Phishing. So the idea behind this is, the methodology behind this is, fake or fraudulent emails are sent, and that too in bulk. Okay, so let's say 1,000 emails are sent at once. Okay, why so much amount of emails are sent? That is because it has low probability or low possibility that someone is going to open that link or open that URL. Okay, so let's say at least if 1,000 emails are sent, so the attacker expects that at least 10 people are going to fall prey to it. Okay, so that's where these things are like, it's like you use a very big net to catch a whole lot of fish in a pond. Okay, some of them get caught, some of them escape the net. So if I talk about phishing emails, you guys must have heard about the Nigerian prince scam, probably. So there was a major phishing email scam that was being propagated throughout the internet. Greetings from the Illuminati. No, it was called as Nigerian prince scam. Mm. Yeah, this is how it looked like. Attention, my dear, you have been lucky winner for that. You have won some kind of a lottery, and before receiving that amount, you need to send certain amount back to us. Then only we are going to dispatch that $3.2 billion to you. My dear Drind, blah blah blah. Well, now then comes your farming. Okay, So what is farming basically? Again, farming is just like phishing, but in this, instead of sending fake emails, the attacker set up a fake web page for harvesting the credentials that are being entered on that web page. So it's like building a exact replica of a page which is not the original one. Instead, what happens is if you are going to enter your credentials in that fake web page, those credentials are going to be sent to the attacker instead of being sent to the original web application. That is your farming basically. Then comes your whaling and spear phishing. So if I talk about spear phishing, so what happens in case of spear phishing is bulk emails are not sent. Instead, a specific target is finalized and a specific target is narrowed down, and then your fake emails or fake web page, these things are being created specifically and custom and tailor cut for that specific target. Okay, so in spear phishing there is your single target. Attacking single target. Did somebody just left? Okay. So then what is whaling? So whaling is also a social engineering attack, but what happens in whaling is it's an attack against the big fish. When you are going to target the big fish, that is going to be considered as whaling. So in this case, generally, the C-suite people are targeted, like CEO or CFO or your CTO, so on. So C-suite people are generally targeted in the whaling attacks. So it's about targeting your attack or customizing your attack just for the purpose of a big fish. Okay. So here in my notes as well, I have got this uh, news URL here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. In this, what happened was this employee received. This was an employee for Snapchat who used to handle all this payroll related information for Snapchat, and he received an email that was probably sent from a CEO. The attacker impersonated the CEO. So the attacker basically impersonated the CEO and asked that HR employee to release the payroll information of all the other employees. Okay, and the employee was in the impression that he has got this email from the CEO itself, and hence it basically disclosed all the payroll information on their official website. And what happened next? Simply a whole lot of information of all the Snapchat employees were leaked very easily by the internal employee itself. Although unknowingly it happened. It did happen. So I have attached the news link here, so you guys can go through this link as well. Okay. Snapchat leaks employee data, CEO scam email. So it says bad guys are getting so good at phishing that they aren't just fooling that older relative who calls a grandchild every time they need to print something. So then comes here, so fishing, farming, and whaling and spear fishing we have covered so far. Now there's another concept that is being prevailing nowadays, that is called wishing. So what is wishing? Wishing basically means it's all about voice solicitation. Or just like we read about various stuff here. Wishing is about doing a fake call. Okay, wishing is about fake calls, and a very good example for wishing can be observed in the show that I mentioned at the beginning of the class. That's called Jamtara. You guys can go through that show as well to understand what a small clip to help the potential. Let me proceed further. So I've got a clip. You understand what is wishing basically. Okay. So then comes your human-based attacks in social engineering. So in human-based attacks, there are like impersonation, tailgating, dumpster diving, and shoulder surfing. Okay. So what is impersonation? As the name itself signifies, impersonation simply means that you steal the identity of another person and you try to behave or imitate another person on the internet who you are not actually. That is your impersonation, pretending to be someone else. Then there is your tailgating. So what is tailgating then? So tailgating is all about, it's a, although it's a concept, it's a term that is used during in your driving, in your rash driving, but in the relevance for social engineering, it's like, let's say there is a, I would say, a facility, it's an office or anything you can consider, matter of example, and for the entry process, there is a authentication mechanism that has been placed. It's like only those persons are going to be allowed to have entry who possess the ID card that has been allotted by the office. But at that point, if one person swipes his ID card and two persons try to gain entry through that single swipe, then that is going to be considered as tailgating. That simply means someone else try to gain entry on just behind the back of another person. That is your tailgating. Okay. So here I have the video.
Invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah,
See if it works.
Yeah, we probably could have Star Victor here make some phone calls as
Let's do it.
Sure. You want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation. And basically, what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for users information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. Baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
Gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
name is 5127.
to set up her own personal access to my own.
Wait, I'm no password on my account right now. Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my
Thank you
password.
so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yeah.
I really thought my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like,
So I hope now what is phishing and what it is all about. Now this thing would be clear to you, right? So that was about phishing, and I told you about tailgating as well, right? That if somebody else tries to gain access behind the back of somebody else, that is going to be called as tailgating. So we can see this thing. It's a 20 seconds, 30 seconds clip. So that's what tailgating is.
Can I help you? You know the security rules. You have to scan your own card.
Well, so then comes your dumpster diving. Dumpster diving then. So dumpster diving is about, as the name signifies, that the attacker, what an attacker does is attacker tries to go through the waste or dispose of or dumps of any corporate, okay, in hope of this thing that maybe he can find something sensitive, something crucial, some sensitive document that have been disposed of by the corporate. Maybe something good can be found in the dumps as well. Okay, so that's why you can see in a lot of corporates, your sensitive documents or secret documents are not disposed of right away. Okay, they are first went through the shredder and then only they are disposed of. Multiple places where security is of great issue, there are multiple stages of this waste disposal in case of sensitive documents. Like once they are shredded, then they are put into some kind of a acid and all that stuff, sort of thing. So, and if an attacker is motivated enough, so he can find some shredded piece of secret documents, and he can be able to put along all those pages as well. Okay, so and then comes your at last shoulder surfing. So what is shoulder surfing? Shoulder surfing basically means that looking from above the shoulder, from behind the shoulder of another person. Okay, it's like these sort of things happen on regular basis, like in metros. Okay, if there's a person that is sitting and there's a person that is standing in front of him, and the sitting person is trying to log into his social media account or any kind of account, the person who is standing would be easily able to peek what all credentials are being typed by the person. Okay, similar kind of warning things are done in the ATMs as well, that please ensure that nobody else who is standing behind you is able to see through your pin, whatever you are trying to enter. Okay, so that is your shoulder surfing. Tailgating, shoulder surfing, dumpster diving. Okay, now let's have a look on how we can do these things by ourselves. Okay, let me switch on my Kali Linux system and let me show you how to create a web page that is used to harvest the credentials. Okay, so there's a pre-installed toolkit for these social engineering attacks, that is called your SET or SE toolkit, also known as social engineering toolkit. So for accessing it, the command is very simple. You just need to type SE space toolkit and press enter, and it is going to open the social engineering tool. In here, we need to select the first option for social engineering attack, and we are going to go through the website attack vectors, as we are going to create a harvesting page. And yeah, select the third option, that is your credential harvest method. Press 3, press enter. Now we need to opt for the second option, that is site cloner. For credential, we are going to site. Okay. So it's IP address for the postback in harvester. So here I need to type the IP address where the once these credentials are harvested, then where these credentials are going to be sent. The IP address is required to be provided here. So I'm simply going to do an ifconfig, copy the IP address, paste it here, press enter, and it says enter the URL to clone. Let me give instagram.com. Okay, cloning the website. Please return if you don't know. What does it say? It says the credential harvester is running on port 80. Information will be displayed to you and type below. Right. What I need to do is I have successfully cloned a website and created a web page. What I need to do is try visiting that web page. So there's a web server running on my machine, so I can probably access that web server by simply typing my IP address here. Let's see, what do we have here? Trying to load the Instagram page, unable to load. So probably this tool is not capable of cloning this page. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to try doing this thing for open SE toolkit again, social engineering attack, website attack vector, 3 for credential harvester attack method, website cloner, IP address, enter the URL to clone. Let me give URL for facebook.com. Facebook.com. Clone this website. Okay, so the web server is running now. Let's see if it has been able to successfully clone the Facebook page or not. Okay, so the Facebook page has been cloned. by SE Toolkit. But we can see that there's a whole lot of this character encoding issue on my screen. Okay, it's not that pretty. Well, anyways, we'll try putting some credentials here. So let me try putting something like what do we say? ch @demo.com and some random string here in the credentials. Press enter. Okay, so it has redirected me to the original Facebook. Meanwhile, let's check our SE Toolkit output here. So here we can see there's whole lot of data. Now what we need to do is we need to go through this data and identify where is my entered credentials. Where is it? Some Gmail ID. Here it is. Possible username field found. It says email is equals to ch@demo.com. And similarly, we can identify the password as well. But the point is that the web page was not that good and that appealing, and also this output on my command line is also a very messy, I would say. So what I'm going to do now is, let me close this thing. Let me do a clear screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a tool that is much more easier to use, much neat and much tidy. So the name for that tool is Black Eye. It is called Black Eye. So let's go on to Google, search for Black Eye, GitHub. Now I need to open this link, the GitHub link. So I need to download this tool from the GitHub. So I'll show you how to download this tool from GitHub. First of all, you need to click on this GitHub button that says clone or download. Click on it. So either you can download this tool. Okay, that is pretty self-explanatory. So I don't think that I need to explain you how to download a zip file. Instead, I'm going to show you how to download it through command line. So this link that has been provided, I'm going to copy this link from here, go back to my terminal. Let's go to desktop. So these are the files and folders that currently exist on my desktop. Now I'm going to download the Black Eye tool as well. So the command for downloading any tool from GitHub is git space clone space followed by the target URL. Press enter. Downloading this tool from GitHub. I'll repeat the command. For downloading anything from GitHub, the command is git space followed by your target URL that you want to clone. Okay, so I'm going to do ls again, and now I can see that a folder has been created with the name black eye. So this proves that this tool has been downloaded. Let me move into this directory, and here I can see that there's a bash script called black eye. The extension of this script is .sh. That's how I got to know that it's a bash script. How to run a script? For running a bash script, the command is followed by the script name that you want to run. Press enter, and this tool is running. Tool is up and running, and it is basically providing me with certain options to choose from. It says Instagram, Facebook, at to. So it is asking me what kind of web page you want to create. Choose an option. So we tried creating Instagram page, we failed. So we'll try creating Instagram page here. So we'll select the first Instagram page. Type 1, press enter. Put your local IP address. So here is my local IP address. I'll paste it here. Sender. It is saying starting PHP server. Send this link to the victim. Waiting victim open the link. So from this side, our server is running, and it has cloned the website called Instagram. Let's confirm this by browser. Okay, let's go to the browser. Let's see if it has successfully cloned the Instagram page. Yes, so here you can see that the page has been cloned, and the page has been cloned, I would say, very closely and very appropriately. There's no issue for characters encoding, characters missing. Okay, probably this is going to be good enough to lure someone to enter the credentials. So let's enter the credentials here. Credentials are cehch at the rate cehch.com. Credentials is have password. Click on login now. So once I submit my credentials here on the fake web page, what it is going to do, it is going to redirect me to the original Instagram.com or to the original Instagram page.
Sir, I have one question over here.
Yeah.
Actually, we cloned a website of Instagram, but what is the mainly used to clone the website in the local way? May I know?
In a local way, I didn't got your question.
Sir, I am saying we have cloned a website of Instagram over here in our local server.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
what is the use for that? Because this server has established in the locally, and we only can log in over here. So, what is the use?
It is only going to work inside your local area network. Okay, it is not going to work in your WAN, right? That is your concern, right? So that's pretty simple. Okay, this is only going to happen this way because we are currently having a private IP address. Okay, to make it effective in public or native throughout the globe, throughout the WAN wide area network, we just need a public IP address. That's all, nothing else. Okay, so let me just finish this thing. That I'll show you the process. I have VPS. I'll show it to you. Okay.
Okay.
So I went back to my terminal. I can see the email address and the password that have been entered by the user. It's very neat and tidy, to the no hassle involved, not that messy like social engineering toolkit. That's why tool, okay, crisp and concise to the point. Now, the point can be opened by someone else as well, but that person needs to be connected to your local area. Okay, inside your local area network, this thing is going to work. But this thing is not outside your local network. Why? Because private IP address here. Fox. So let me show you how it can be done in a WAN as well.